This is my video response to our Patriarch lesson. What are the main points in Abraham's story? Um, Abraham, he was a very ordinary guy who trusted God, and that was the key. Uh, he was sinful, he was ordinary, but because of his trust, God made a covenant with Abraham. Now, Abraham definitely was not perfect, and uh, this covenant that God made, he said, "You're going to be the father of the nations, and look up at the stars. That's how many descendants you're going to have." And here was Abraham with a barren wife. So he takes things into his own hands, like we all do, and he produces an heir with uh, with the servant woman. God still hung in there. He still was faithful even when we sin. And we've seen that, we saw that from the beginning. So here is Abraham, and finally, with Sarah, who is 90 years old, bears a son, Isaac. And Isaac plays a role because he continues the line of Abraham. He also is uh, there's a powerful story where that trust again, that trust that Abraham has, where God says, take him and, and you're going to make a sacrifice. And as he raises his dagger, God uh, saves and redeems Isaac. Isaac goes on and he bears two sons, Jacob and Esau, and in his very feeble days, Jacob uh, deceives his dad and steals the birthright from his brother. Um, Now Jacob does get his just desserts when it comes down to he was in love with Rachel, and Laban uh, stole back some time from Jacob, having him do work 7 years before, and then he gave him Leah, and where he bore uh, 10 children with her, and then had finally was able to marry Rachel and had Joseph and Benjamin. So that leads us to, and Jacob, the cool story about Jacob too is that he wrestled with the Lord, and God allows us to wrestle with him. There's a powerful message there that we need to wrestle with the Lord. So Jacob has these sons, and Joseph was his favored son, and the brothers were very jealous. They sold Joseph into slavery. Poor Joseph. I mean, um, he just really had a hard time. They sold him into slavery. Um, he was accused by Potiphar's wife of, doing seducing her, and he had not done that. And he's thrown into prison. And then here's the baker this friend, and he's getting out of prison. Please remember me. Tell the king. And he forgets, and so he sits there for a few more years, and finally he is released from prison. He has these he's able to interpret dreams, and becomes second in command in this in Egypt, which is so amazing because of the famine that happened. And he was a very wise man, and he was because he interpreted these dreams. He said, there's gonna be a famine, and we're gonna store up uh, grain. And so his brothers end up coming, and it's quite the redemption story, because Joseph was such a forgiver, and he very, very, very powerful when it comes down to forgiveness, and and the end of Genesis, where Joseph said, what you meant for evil, God used for good. And that really brings us to all of these stories connecting and why they're important in the Old Testament, because Jesus is woven through the entire uh, Bible. It's not like Jesus shows up in the New Testament. Jesus is there from the beginning when, uh, when in Genesis, where it says that your seed will crush the serpent's head, um, talking about Jesus. And at the end of the the book of Genesis, where it's a redemption story that is talking about Jesus, and that all of these covenants that God made ultimately culminated in the new covenant where Jesus comes to redeem all of us. And I am so grateful for this class to be able to really dissect Genesis in a way that I have never really done as deeply, and to be able to just see Jesus throughout and see God's amazing love for his creation, where he blesses and continues to bless and continues to bless and continues to bless. And he's blessed us today. So thank you for letting me share.